Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil. Oh my goodness.
Let's get into some Jack Daniels.
You did that great. All right, so today we're doing a list of our favorite Jack Daniels whiskeys, and obviously we haven't tried them all. We haven't had them all. Even the special editions since 2020, I think we've only gotten 2 or 3.
You gotta stop buying them. They take up a lot of room on the shelf. Those square bottles.
They also can be sort of hard to find. There's also a flight in front of us. What the heck? Why are we doing a flight when we're doing a list video? These things don't make any sense. It's because we don't know what we're doing here at the Bourbon Van. That's the number one reason. But the number 2 reason is because when we get to the top of our list, we have a couple of bottles that we need to figure out where they belong.
Sure.
And that's what this is all about. We'll get there. We're going to get there together. So hang in there. Let's get into an honorable mention. There's a bottle that we didn't add to the list. We're going to catch some flack for it, quite honestly. It's an affordable, reasonable, heavy-hitting Tennessee whiskey. It's Jack Daniels Barrel Proof Single Barrel Tennessee Whiskey. These are usually fantastic. However, we're leaving them off this list because as good as they are a little bit inconsistent. Case in point, the bottle that's currently on our shelf after we had 2 great ones in a row, literally so hot as to be undrinkable. The flavor profile isn't there. It's just heat. We've tried it with water, we've tried it with ice. Something about this single barrel just simply not pleasant. And we've heard from those of you out there who have had this happen to you as well. 99% of these are awesome. Every once in a while, they're just not there for us. So that's the reason that one doesn't make the list. Now we're going to get into the actual list, starting with number 5.
2023 Heritage Barrel Rye.
This is a twice-barreled, single-barrel product. Single-barrel, twice-barreled, whatever. It all makes sense in the end. And this one is only 100 proof. $75 what we purchased this one for, 5 years aged plus 3 years in toasted barrels. And I know there are going to be those of you out there who disagree that this one deserves to be in the top 5. However, we tend to like the flavor profile on this. And again, these are single barrels. And so I wonder if some of them out there were more tannic than the one that we got. Ours is simply sweet, dark, and delightful. We love it. And that's why it's number 5 on our list.
Up next, 2021 Coy Hill High Proof Tennessee Whiskey, and I love this one.
Might have gone higher because it does have huge flavors. I mean, this is a powder keg on the palate. The issue I take with this one is 140.5 proof.
Yeah.
And a special release should be special. This is most certainly that. But at that 140.5 proof point, A, you need to find a good amount of time to sit and explore that one. B, if you want to enjoy that one the right way, you should be with a group of people who can all enjoy it together. How often do you get a group of people that can spend that much time with that much high proof? It's a dangerous bottle, and as good as it is, and as wonderful and flavorful as it is, as much as we love it, we don't find the ultimate complexity that we find in the next couple of bottles.
Coming in at number 3, 12-year Tennessee Whiskey Batch 01.
We had batch 1 of the 10-year, and we did like it. However, when we went away from it and then came back to it, it had lost a lot of what made it so great. The complexity was gone. It was just bananas and a little bit of caramel.
Right.
But this 12-year has been complex from the start. We have enjoyed every single sip of it. It's, I think, probably the most complex Jack Daniels that I've ever sipped. Now, we haven't had future batches of this one, but batch 1 was so special, 107 proof, 12 years aged. Got it for $85. That is a steal, $85. I would pay that over and over for this particular whiskey. It can be hard to find. However, those flavors so complex. It's creme brulee, it's a little bit of banana, but there's berries here, there's blackberries, there's depth. The oak is incredible. There's an awful lot to like about this whiskey, so that's why it's coming in at number 3 for us, and now things are going to get real weird.
Oh, great. Tell me about it.
Okay, so we have 3 bottles in front of us, but there's only room for number 2 and number 1 at the top of this list.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. All 3 are single barrels. 2 of them are standard single barrels that you can find on the shelf. The other one is a special release. Here's what we're talking about. We have 2020 single barrel special release rye single barrel proof. That's a mouthful. I didn't even say it in the right order, but you guys know what I'm talking about here. The 2020 release was a huge deal. This one came in $65, which is bonkers. It was at the top of our end of year list for 2020, 131.8 proof. Big proof, but accessible flavors. You can sit and enjoy and explore this one. We've been sipping this one down very slowly. It's a special occasion whiskey. We love it. However, 2023 rolls around, single barrel, barrel proof rye started showing up on shelves. Since the beginning of 2024, we've traveled more than 15,000 miles. We've been through 23 states. We've seen it in a lot of different places. I mean, we saw it in the Bayou in Louisiana. We saw it in West Texas. We're not talking about El Paso or hill country or something. We're talking middle of nowhere Texas. We've found this even marked down to $48 at one point in Texas. We got ours for $47. Russ D was kind enough to send us a sample of his, so we've got two of the standard single barrel barrel proof ryes out here. We've got the 2020 special release. We're going to see, is that 2020 good enough to stand on its own? Does it deserve the number one spot? Or do we just lump any barrel proof single barrel rye from Jack Daniel's in at the top of this list? I honestly couldn't care less. All I know is we're about to drink some barrel proof Jack Daniel's rye, and that is always a good time. Okay, I do not know what order these are in. Neither do you.
No, I forgot.
Okay. We do have a code. We will figure it out at the end, but I can tell you their proof ranges from 131.8 proof to 134.1 proof. And
perfect for a Saturday afternoon.
Hey, let's do a little drinking here. I can't wait to get into it. We're not going to spend too much time with each one of these, or at least not that you're going to have to watch. We're just going to do a quick nosing, quick tasting, and see, does one of these stand way above the others?
The colors are just spectacular.
Gorgeous.
I just want to point that out first. Very oaky. Spicy on this glass number one.
Yeah, the proof is very evident on this glass right here.
A little singe.
Singe
of those nose hairs.
The creme brulee, the banana, the caramel, a lot to like right here, but the rye grain does show up on the nose. Glass
I
number
like
two.
the smell of this one. A little bit more molasses, a little bit more tobacco.
Yeah, there's pancake syrup here, and maybe even a little bit of
Syrupy.
pancake on there, like some sort of sweetness for sure, a little doughy.
Vanilla. Ooh, this one's sweeter. Odd. I wasn't expecting them to like smell so different from each other.
I think this one's just a touch darker than the other two.
Ooh.
Wow.
Bananas on this one.
I think I smell my finger. Let me see.
This one's definitely oaky, but sweeter, has like a more sugary nose to it.
Darker, more subdued notes, way less proof than the other two.
We'll see.
Glass one seems to have the bigger proof nose on it, but glass two seems to have the most going on and the most balance with the proof.
Yeah, number one seems scarier to me.
There's a concern
There's
on
a
glass
concern
one.
that I'm immediately going to get warm.
Well, we're going to start over here with glass number one. There's no sense mixing it up because we really have no idea what we're getting into, and sometimes you can be surprised on the palate. Cheers to Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey, huh?
Cheers, all.
Dynamite.
It is proofy. First sip of the day here. But really wonderful, like almost bananas Foster. Like it's a little bit like pudding.
Wow.
Lovely.
It is proofy. It is hanging around. It's in there for sure. That hug is legitimate, but that rye grain is very nice here. The presence of the grain, it's showing off a little bit, giving us exactly what we want. There's even a touch of lemon on the tail end of this one. The flavor is a touch fleeting. The finish that hangs around is not that overwhelming, nice, rich flavor profile. It goes straight to the things you expect from a rye grain. Maybe more like lemon and almost tea note there.
Yeah.
So it's an unexpected finish on this one.
We're up in that a high proof point that I normally don't drink
That's
on a
true.
regular basis.
Yeah.
Like this feels like a Saturday night watching a movie, drinking this over a couple hours versus, just sitting here and drinking it real quick. But I do really enjoy the flavors. I'm impressed so far. So
All right.
I know you're saving yourself for the other two.
Look, I don't want to give out too many compliments right off the bat. It's like you watch a cooking show and the first one's terrible, but then it comes back and they finish in like first or second.
Yeah, exactly.
Glass 2 actually left a film on the glass
I
after I
can see
rotated
it.
it.
Yeah.
It left a proper film the entire time we've been here. Glass 3 did too. Man, these are not to be
look at
trifled with. Here we go.
So this one, right out of the gate, feels more approachable than glass number one.
Tons of fruit here.
You don't get smacked in the face with the proof there. Grape is the note, and I normally do not give the note.
You never
grape.
give that note. That nose, I expected all the maple syrup, all the tobacco, all the depth and the dark and the richness, and I got richness, but it was a much brighter series of flavors to get you to the finish where now it's oak and maple syrup.
Yep. And I took a quick second sip, and now those rye spices are starting to come through. So
It's beautiful.
yeah.
This is outstanding. There is a spice here. I was
I feel
going
like
to say,
spicier than glass number one.
but there's actual spice flavor that you can
Yeah.
pick out. Cinnamon, maybe a little bit of nutmeg there. Star anise, certainly. I guess that's a lot of the baking spices there.
Did you move on to glass three?
I'm about to,
Okay.
yeah. Man, the bananas Foster, you called it on this one. That sweetness.
Now it's very oaky on the nose too.
I like what we're finding here. You ready? You just keep talking.
I keep
now you talk. Now I
was like,
talk. All right, let's sip it. Berries, field farm-tastic flavor. This is unlike any of the other single
Wow,
barrels that
this
we've
is
tried.
so different than
Wow.
the first two too.
Boy, the tingle on the tongue here is for real. That's doing that rye dance that I like. I don't usually get that from Jack Daniel's products. That's great.
This one had the sweetest notes,
Mm-hmm.
sugary. That banana came through really strong on this one. The palate doesn't taste anything like that.
No, this one has a lot of intensity. The oak is more tannic than I expected. The vanilla is extract instead of frosting. Even the maple that I was hoping for didn't show up on the palate here. That's interesting. This is all those flavors are a more intense, less sweet version of what I was expecting.
Yeah, this one to me is like cigar and a little musty and a little farmy.
Honestly, reminds me a little bit of what I was saying about the Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey, those single barrel proof bottles where you get some really sweet ones, and then every once in a while you get one that is more like this, where it's dialed up in the intensity, and maybe some people prefer that. It's not really my favorite historically, so ready to bounce around and check out these other bottles again, and we'll come back and have a decision for you very shortly.
Man, the flavors in glass number one, if you can get past the heat of that sip, they're so delicious. They're almost like candy-tastic underneath there. Like
Yeah.
there's sweetness and oakiness and maple and rye spices, and man, I really like it.
Get on the sides of your tongue with glass number one, blueberry juice. It's an idiotic tasting note, but man, it's like you smashed a bunch of blueberries and that little tingle of the tartness shows up, and that's really pleasant. That's a great glass of whiskey.
Man, these it's gonna ruin my palate for the rest of the day.
Oh yeah, we're shot
I feel,
after this.
I feel like my taste buds are all burned off from the proof point.
I like the finish of glass number three, but it doesn't stick around as long as the other two. Now I'm getting more flavor there. Bananas Foster. The oak is, man, it is tannic though. There's a little bitterness on glass three. I've got a decision. I'm ready to roll here.
Glass number one now has a lot more lemon and rye and tea spices
Yeah.
than it did the first couple sips that I had in this one.
Well, you are the rye girl, and I trust your palate very much.
Should.
And I think everybody out there trusts it very much too. Comment right now. Tell Julie how much you appreciate her rye tasting notes.
So I'm ready, and I made my decision today on that this is a list.
Look at you. All grown up now.
And if it's a list, which one do I think, even for the price point, I would put in first place? And so that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, ignore the prices, ignore everything. Again, these are out of order. We don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah.
So push your third place forward on the count of 1, 2, 3. I don't think that's much of a surprise. That one tailed pretty far behind.
It was a little bit too farmy, even for me.
Let's pick our number one, and then we'll find out what we've got here on the count of 1. First place on the count
Yeah.
of 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're out of order here.
I could have done either or. I kind of went back and forth.
Yeah.
I feel like number two was much more approachable and everyday.
Yes.
But when I sat with number one, very proofy. But
Yeah.
I think the flavors are worth it in the end.
I do think that this was a very close first and second.
Yeah.
Third, a little bit further behind. Now I'm really interested to see
Yeah.
what these were because,
I was almost positive I was going to put number two first.
Really?
The entire time I was like, I like number two out of the gate. I'm
Yeah.
just going to do it. And I went number one on my list.
glass number 1 and number 2 are both very, very appealing. I
Yeah.
thought that they were great. Let's find out what they are. I'm on the wrong page here. I continue to be on the wrong page. All right, here we go. Your first place, my second place is the Patreon glass, right? That is the 2020 Special Edition.
Ah, okay, great.
So Special Edition does finish first for you. You said it tasted elevated.
It did.
And it's a very close second for me, so it's definitely nice. However, the Do Not Disturb glass finished in second for you and first for me. That is the bottle that we have of the standard single barrel proof rye whiskey. And then the one that we have in third is the sample that was gifted to us, the standard single barrel proof whiskey that Rusty shared his sample of. So a big thank you to Rusty for sharing with us.
East Coast, West Coast.
I think we need to send you a sample of ours because we really enjoyed it. But either way, what this tells me is that 2020 is a special release. It's a special whiskey.
Yeah.
No doubt. It absolutely makes sense. But instead of saying in first place overall for us, it should be the special edition, I think we just say the top spot is single barrel proof rye from Jack Daniel's,
Yeah.
whether you got the special edition or the standard release. That standard release, for the money, I don't know that there's another rye that can really compete. That's an absolute crusher.
I agree. From the first sip of this, I stand behind that this is a much more approachable rye and more approachable than either of the other two glasses on the table right now, and
Yeah.
it's a definite buy.
Yeah, absolutely. And just in general, for 130 plus proof to hit that nicely on the palate, I mean, it'll take you back a little bit.
Yeah.
Feel free to put an ice cube or water in this. It'll stand up to it. But what delightful whiskeys. And yeah, Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye whiskey. That's our top of the list right there, whether it's special edition or standard release, which means that I think we need to adjust our top 5 list of Jack Daniel's. And because if Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye is number 1, no matter which variety you have, that means that the 12-year batch 01 goes up into second place. Coy Hill moves up into third place. Twice barreled rye moves up into fourth, and a bottle that I started off by saying that sometimes it's inconsistent, but I still love it.
Made the list!
Single barrel proof Tennessee whiskey slips into 5th place for us on the list. So that's our top 5 list of our favorite Jack Daniels. Let us know, what's your top 5? What's your favorite Jack Daniels product? Do you think that 2020 special edition rye is really that special? Would you have put them in the same order? Are we dead wrong? Let us know all about it in the comments from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers. Delicious.
Nap time.
Want more Bourbon Dan? Join us on Patreon for as little as $3 a month and get access to exclusive videos and live streams, music and whiskey pairings, and guaranteed opportunities to purchase our single barrel whiskey selections. Plus, obligatory Mavis photos with nearly every post.